Bhakti Devi ki jai.
Jai.
Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Jai.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare
All
Krishna.
glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glory to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Hari Hari Bol. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Shami Iti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisheshanya Bari Paschati Dishatarini. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 We're reading and discussing the Sri Caitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 17, the pastimes of the Lord in his youth. Text number 265. We're still in chapter 17. Okay. So who is the Bengali reciter? Anyone volunteer?
Yes, Prabhu, can I read?
Please.
অতএব অবশ্য আমি সন্ন্যাস করিব, সন্ন্যাসী বুদ্ধি মোরে প্রণত হইব।
Thank you. Very nice. Translation. I shall accept the sannyas order of life. For thus people will offer me obeisances, thinking of me as a member of the renounced order. Purport. Among the members of the Varnashram institutions, social orders, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, the Brahman is considered the foremost, for he is the teacher and spiritual master of all the other Varnas. Similarly, among the spiritual orders, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas, the Sannyas order is most elevated. Therefore, a sannyasi is the spiritual master of all the Varnas and ashrams. And a Brahmin is also expected to offer obeisances to a sannyasi. Unfortunately, however, caste Brahmanas do not offer obeisances to a Vaishnava sannyasi. They are so proud that they do not offer obeisances even to Indian sannyasis, what to speak of European and American sannyasis. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, however, expected that even the caste Brahmanas would offer respectful obeisance to a sannyasi because 500 years ago the social custom was to offer obeisances immediately to any sannyasi, known or unknown. The sannyasis of the Krishna consciousness movement are bona fide. All the students of the Krishna consciousness movement have undergone the regular process of initiation, as enjoined in the Hari Bhakti Vilas by Sanatana Goswami. Tata diksha vidhanena dvijatam jayate nrinam. By the regular process of initiation, any man can become a Brahmin. Thus, in the beginning, the students of our Krishna consciousness movement agree to live with the devotees. And gradually, having given up the 4 prohibited activities, illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication, they become advanced in the activities of spiritual life. When one is found to be regularly following these principles, he is given the first initiation, Harinam, and he regularly chants at least 16 rounds a day. Then, after 6 months or a year, he is initiated for the second time and given the sacred thread with the regular sacrifice and rituals. After some time, when he advances still further and is willing to give up this material world, he is given the sannyas order. At that time, he receives the title Shami or Goswami, which means master of the senses. Unfortunately, debauched so-called brahmanas in India neither offer them respect nor accept them as bona fide sannyasis. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expected the so-called Brahmins to offer respect to such a Vaishnava sannyasi. Nevertheless, it does not matter whether they offer respect nor whether they accept these sannyasis as bona fide, for the Shastra describes punishment for such disobedient so-called Brahmins. The Shastric injunction declares, Devata pratiman jushtva yating chaiva chidandinam namaskaram nakuryat ja prayaschittiyate nara. One who does not offer respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to his deity in the temple, or to a Tridandi sannyasi must undergo prayaschitta, atonement. If one does not offer obeisances to such a sannyasi, the prescribed prayaschitta is to fast for 1 day. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chikshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Shayam Rupa Katamakyam Dadati Shapandantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Before speaking, I'd like to request blessings and permission from the devotees, and particularly those who are senior by age or advancement in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. So do you know what the context of Lord Chaitanya here offering, deciding to accept sannyas? Was there a particular circumstance that triggered this decision or seemed to trigger it? Shashi Shekhar Prabhu.
This situation was it because he was so agitated by he was agitated by the gopis right before this, but I'm sure there was more than just that. But then
What do you mean by agitated by the gopis? Tell me.
So he was like agitated in his mind by isn't that what caused the issue with the kid that he was chasing with the stick? That he was feeling like separation.
Who was that kid? Who was that kid?
He was a caste Brahmin, right? Or he was some kind of kid that ran to his other friends and said,
Yes. But did he have any relationship to Lord Chaitanya?
I don't know.
He was one of his students.
Oh, okay.
He was not only just a kid, just a caste Brahmin, but also one of his own students. And usually you think in a classroom, or if you have a student-teacher relationship, there's at least a certain amount of respect, right? You expect. I don't know if any of you ever brought an apple to your teacher. Did you? I don't know. What do they do in India? They don't bring apples because there are not too many apples, at least at that time. But there's a protocol of at least some kind of respect. But in this case, because Lord Chaitanya was chanting the names was saying gopi, he was singing the name of a gopi. And then the student said, what benefit is there for chanting the name of the gopi? How are you going to get some progress? And Prabhupada mentions in the purport that it's material progress. He was thinking, some pious activity. What piety is there in chanting the names of the gopis? Of course, you could argue. Lord Shiva says, Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu aradhana param tasmat parataram devi tariyanam samachanam. Worship of the devotee is even better than worship of Vishnu or Shiva. So you might argue that way. But Lord Chaitanya didn't argue that way. He just decided to chastise the disrespectful student. So usually, as Prabhupada's mentioning here in the first paragraph, usually the sannyasis in the Vedic system were coming from the Brahmin order of the four varnas: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Usually only in the Vedic system, the Brahmana would be the only member who would take sannyas. So they would go through all four ashramas: brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. The kshatriya would be brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha. The vaishya would be brahmachari, grihastha, and the shudra would be just family life. That's it. That's the Vedic system. But in the Kali Yuga, kalau shudra sambhava, janmani jayati shudra, everybody's born shudra. So the Pancharatriki system has been promulgated, which gives any person, regardless of their birth situation, the ability to rise to the status of a Vaishnava, which is better than the Brahmin, considered higher than the Brahmin. Janmani jayati shudra, sanskara bhave dvija. So everybody is born shudra, even the caste Brahmins are born shudra. But by sanskara, they become twice born. Sanskara bhave dvija. So that dvija here in this case, Srila Prabhupada mentions, is this Harinam Diksha is given. Then Veda Patat bhave Vipra Brahma Janatiti Brahmana. And someone who studies the Vedas, they can become a learned Vipra, and actual Brahmin is someone who knows the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Brahman, Brahma Janatiti Brahmana. So Srila Prabhupada gives the example of anybody with a proper training can become a engineer, a doctor. So say you're a member of Penn Medicine, you're a patient of Penn Medicine. So you go to the doctor and say, "What, were you born into doctor's family?" Do you do that? No. Of course, being born in the family of doctors give you some special, you get a little head start in that, from the beginning, you might get some training or not. But that's not the key issue. The key issue is, do you know medical practice? And by training and discipline, then somebody can become a doctor, whatever their birth situation is. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada mentions that anybody, and not only Srila Prabhupada mentioned, quoting the Hari Bhakti Vilas, anybody, regardless of their birth situation, can become a Brahmin by proper training and education. So that would be regardless of their material situation. Therefore, we say, Je bhaje she boro abhakta hi inchar, Krishna bhajano nahi jati kuladi bichar. When you're dealing with a devotee of Krishna, Je bhaje, that person who worships Krishna, they're great. Abhakta hi inchar, and those who are non-devotees, they're not so great. Hi inchar, lower. Krishna bhajan, in relation to Krishna bhajan, jati kuladi bichar. You're not supposed to, we shouldn't be considering their birth. Kuladi, their family, their birth, their caste, etc. But Srila Prabhupada is pointing out here that in India, it's not unusual that people from a caste Brahmin background don't recognize sannyasis who are not from a caste Brahmin background. They don't offer obeisances of respect. Do you know any examples of such a sannyasi who is not from a caste Brahmin background? Yes, Shashi Shekhar Prabhu.
From Caitanya Leela, or from
Anywhere, any.
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati.
Oh, what was his background?
Wasn't he Kayashta?
Yeah, Kayashta, Datta. Yeah. And what about Srila Prabhupada? They're not from caste Brahmin background, no. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his father was Jagannath Mishra, so he was from a caste Brahmin or Brahmin background. Of course, he was qualified as a Vaishnava. So, so the standard was that the students, even though they were disrespectful to Lord Chaitanya as their teacher, still, if he considered that if he took sannyas, those same students would be inclined to offer him respect. But what about the third verse of the Shikshastaka? Pinadapi sunichena, tarodapi sahishnana, amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. A devotee, this is who says this prayer. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says this prayer, right? One should be ready to, one should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind. It's quite difficult. Thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street, more tolerant than the tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, not looking for respect from others, and offering all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one could chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. But here we have Lord Chaitanya looking to get respect. How is that? What do you say to that?
Or sometimes for preaching Krishna consciousness, you know, you need certain kind of respect so that people can hear you.
Okay. Yes. Anything else?
And making offenses, like to devotees.
Yes. Anything else?
That's all coming to my mind.
Okay. What, anybody else there have a comment on that? Lord Chaitanya is saying, don't accept respect. So why is he looking for respect?
Well, Prabhu, he was a Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was not a Jiva soul like us. And other thing, people were not listening his instructions, what he came for, giving the instructions to the people were not listening. And that's why he wanted them to listen and follow it seriously. So that's why he took the sannyas. But he didn't want it actually, because he cannot get the false pride like we can get false pride, So pride is not a question in him, because he's supreme.
Yes,
So that's why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was the key point, that Lord Chaitanya, he wasn't thinking, oh, I'll get some respect for myself. Just like we get respect, so we like that very much, so people respect us. But he knew, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that people who disrespect him, they will be blocked from making spiritual advancement, which is the whole reason he came. Very good. Thank you, Kaivalya Prabhu. So his looking for respect might be different from us looking for respect. We might take sannyas to get respect so we can get a big maha plate of prasadam or something like that. It's a little different for us. Sometimes, yeah, it happens that we get a position, so we're looking for, because we want respect. But Lord Chaitanya's mission was for the purpose of delivering the fallen, offensive people. And he wanted to get everybody, even these caste Brahmins who wouldn't offer him respect properly in his condition, as situation apparently as a householder Brahmin. Thank you. Yeah. Other comments on this? So we're reminded that, a Brahminical life, there's restrictions of these four basic rules in the Krishna consciousness movement: no illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication are basic prerequisites for coming to the Brahminical platform. And from a Brahminical platform, one can become Krishna conscious. So that means control the senses. Kshami or Goshami means master of the senses. So usually, in ISKCON also, we have Tridandi sannyasis. This particular verse here says that if you don't offer immediately respect to a Tridandi sannyasi, then you have to fast for that day. That's the prayaschitta, or the atonement for doing that. What about for Ekadandi sannyasis? Ekadandi means Mayavadi sannyasis. What should one offer respectful obeisances to them? You follow? Because here the specific verse is Tridandinam. The Vaishnav sannyasi has three rods, the staff with 3 rods in it. What do you think, Kaivalya Prabhu?
We should still give respect to them also, because they are sannyasi. They may be Mayavadi or whatever, but as far as we are concerned, we should give respect to any sannyasi. That's what I will think.
Okay, and what evidence would you back that up with?
I don't know any shloka or anything which.
Okay, well, we just read that we're ready to offer respectful obeisances to anybody, all respect to others, right?
Yeah, it will show our humility, that.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Yes.
Whatever he is, what he can do.
Yes.
All right.
Doesn't mean we're going to listen to their discourses on impersonal philosophy, but we can offer respect and like that. Yeah. Yes. So here in this verse also, we don't see that it's not mentioned that ladies can become sannyasis, although we don't read that here. And in ISKCON, that hasn't been accepted. Although in other different lines, people might do that. Although ladies can be, Vaishnavis can be appreciated as Brahmanis because they're following the principles and also engaged regularly in Krishna's service. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada would give second initiation to men and Vaishnavis as well. Anything else? Any other? Shashi Shekhar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Did Srila Prabhupada make that available for women in the West? Or was that always something that happened in India as well, that women were given Brahminical initiation, or no?
Did women get second initiation prior to Srila Prabhupada, is your question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But the conditions of that might have been different at different times. Traditionally, Brahmin man and his wife would automatically be Brahmin. They don't get sacred thread, but they chant the mantra. You follow? Yeah. Just as in ISKCON, that's what happens also. Okay, next verse.
প্রণতিত হবে ইহার অপরাধ ক্ষয় নির্মল হৃদয় ভক্তি করাইব উদয়
Offering obeisances will relieve them of all the reactions to their offenses. Then, by my grace, devotional service, bhakti will awaken in their pure hearts. Report. According to the Vedic injunctions, only a Brahmana may be offered sannyas. The Shankara Sampradaya, Ekadanda Sannyas Sampradaya, awards the sannyas order only to caste Brahmins or born Brahmins. But in the Vaishnava system, even one not born in a Brahmin family may be made a Brahmin according to the direction of the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Tata Diksha Vidhanena Dvijatam Jayate Nrinam. Any person from any part of the world may be made a Brahmana by the regular process of initiation. And when he follows Brahminical behavior, observing the principle of abstaining from intoxication, illicit sex, meat eating, and gambling, he may be offered sannyas. all the sannyasis in the Krishna consciousness movement who are preaching all over the world are regular Brahmana sannyasis. Thus, the so-called caste Brahmanas should not object to offering them respectful obeisances. By offering such obeisances, as recommended by Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, they will diminish their offenses and automatically awaken to their natural position of devotional service. As it is said, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabonai Sadhya Kabonai. Krishna Prema can be awakened in a purified heart. The more we offer obeisances to sannyasis, especially Vaishnava sannyasis, the more we diminish our offenses and purify our hearts. Only in a purified heart can Krishna Prema awaken. This is the process of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's cult, the Krishna consciousness movement. So this is confirming what Kaivalya Prabhu mentioned just a short time ago, that the Lord's purpose there is to relieve these proud individuals of their offenses by inducing them to offer respects to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his form as Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Interestingly, Srila Prabhupada, in this same subject, quotes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prediction that his name would be chanted and sung in every town and village as support for sannyasis from other countries of the world being made, because sannyas is a requirement for spreading Krishna consciousness. So if the Krishna consciousness movement is going to travel, be preached and spread to every town and village throughout the world, there must be sannyasis from all those different parts of the world, and not just those born in India or in India from a Brahmin family. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope so. Anyway, and another point here is that this offering of obeisances is a very important thing to sannyasis and to all devotees. We have the kind of habit now of just saying Dandavat Pranam, but not really offering any obeisances actually. Actually getting down and offering obeisances, but which is a purifying process for us. It purifies our hearts to be able to offer obeisances to sannyasis and all Vaishnavas. In the Upadeshamrita verse, it says that one should at least offer obeisances in the mind to somebody who's chanting, and to some chanting the holy names, and to someone who's initiated, diksha, then one should offer obeisances. Yeah, get down, diksha, offer obeisances, different levels of respect. It's interesting to note that Raghunath Das Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis, he made it his regular practice to offer obeisances to 1,000 devotees every day. I'm sure I've never had that opportunity or that come to that level. But you have to think about that. Offering obeisances to 1,000 devotees, how is that practically possible? So I was speculating about that. I thought, well, maybe he got a bunch of devotees together and offered obeisances all at once, like you're in a temple and there's 200 devotees there, so you get your 200 that way. But in any case, however he did it, because he was living in most of the time in Radha Kunda, but he came to the Radha Govinda temple to recite the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya so that others could hear. Particularly present was Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So he took it. He was such an elevated soul, but he purified his heart. He considered it purifying to offer obeisances to 1,000 Vaishnavas every day. So especially offering obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his representatives is purifying to the heart, even though it might be a little troublesome to get down and go all the way down. Sometimes when we offer obeisances, or you notice people offering obeisances, have you ever noticed that sometimes people don't want to go all the way down, and they put like they put the hand like this on their forehead so they don't have to touch their forehead. Have you noticed that? I've noticed it. I shouldn't be too critical, but I try not to do that. So hopefully I won't do it too much. But so you don't touch your head to the ground, offering all the obeisances. Dandavats, Ashtanga Pranam. Of course, now in ISKCON, it's considered verboten against the rules for ladies to offer their dandavats. Although during the time of Lord Chaitanya, specifically, it's mentioned that when Lord Chaitanya traveled through the 9 islands of Navadvip, old men, kids, and ladies were offering dandavats. The word dandavat is particularly given. And I was reading the book, Lord Srila Prabhupada and his disciples in Germany. And when they held an initiations in 1974 at the Schloss in Germany, the devotee said specifically, Srila Prabhupada told the ladies also to offer their dandavats when receiving their initiation beads. So dandavats, offering obeisances, whether by full dandavats or at least halfway obeisances, that's important. I know in Mayapur, it was so crowded. There, probably, several thousand devotees, people in the temple room. So it's very difficult to offer obeisances because you got to, you're stepping on people's, or you're putting your head and somebody steps on your head and stuff like that. But so what should you do? What should you do? Have you ever been in a crowd when it's very difficult to offer obeisances? You might be faced with that circumstance sometime in your life. I was faced with it. What do you think I should?
We do fold our hands and pranam.
You
Mind
fold your hands.
through mind.
You could do your mind, yeah. So it says here, there that we learned in that previous verse that if you don't offer proper respects to the Lord or the sannyasis, then you have to do prayaschitta. So does that mean just in your mind? It's not clarified, right? It's not clarified there. So from my point of view, I'd say as far as possible, do it. And if you can't do it right then and there because you're stuck in a big group, do it as soon as you can. That's what I'd recommend. Does that make sense? But don't forget, because otherwise, prayaschitta, you got to fast. Anyway, that's what I do.
Prabhu, you're saying right. Yeah, we should do it. We can come outside the temple and do it then if there's
You're
no
away
place
from
in the temple.
away from the crowd anywhere. Sometimes in the back, the very back, there might be an area that's a little less crowded. People you won't step on people, or they won't step on you. But it's a little challenge, yeah. Especially, there's even I noticed that in Vrindavan and Mayapur, there's a front area where they usually have the senior devotees there, but still that's very crowded. And most of the senior devotees, I noticed, they had a hard time offering obeisances at that time. So anyway, I mean, getting down, but offering them within the mind, as said, and also as soon as possible afterwards.
Prabhu, how about like in Vrindavan, I saw so many senior devotees, they are very old and they cannot, their back doesn't permit them to bend.
Yeah, I know.
So what to do? I have seen many devotees like that, very senior.
How senior?
They just do the prana. They like 80, 85, 90, like that.
Okay, older than you and me. Older than you and me. Yeah, for me, I still can get down. Srila Prabhupada always got down. He always got down, except of course the last year or so. I remember, 1976, Srila Prabhupada was 80, and he came to 55th Street and dandavats. He got down, dandavats. So as far as possible, we can do that. But of course, Krishna knows. As far as possible, if it's really not possible, then of course, do what the needful. As far as possible, we can. I mean, some devotees I saw who had severe arthritis, they can't even move practically. Yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah, something maybe like bedded, somebody maybe on the wheelchair or something, they cannot do it.
Yeah. So those some exceptions.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have one question. When you see about 10, 15 senior devotees and sannyasis are walking around, not together, but one after another, then how would you pay obeisances, all of them?
Yes, especially the sannyasis. Especially the sannyasis, yes.
So
I
how
mean,
to do that?
by getting down. It was, you know,
So it will be like 15 times you getting down on the
yes,
yard,
yes, yes,
on the feet.
yes,
Really?
yes, yes. I was just quoting that Raghunath Das Goswami was 1,000 times he's offering obeisances. So 15 is like, what is that? One, you know, but you know, one way that that things were arranged in ISKCON at a certain point, you know, after Mangalarti, one of the regular things is reciting, you know, after the Nishringa prayers or after Tulsi Puja, to offer the Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. And hopefully the resident sannyasis were there, so you cover your bases then. But then if you didn't attend Mangalarti, then you gotta get or the sannyasi didn't came in later. Then you have to offer obeisances. Yes, yes. I did that. When I saw the sannyasis. Sometimes they don't want you to offer, but like my godbrothers, they say, no, don't offer obeisance. I said, no, I have to do that. No, I have to. You know, it's etiquette. We do. Purifies the heart. I'm still lower. I'm low. So yeah, it's a little, it's austerity. That's called austerity. Deva Dvija Guru Pragya, Pujanam Saucha Marjava, Brahmacharya Ahimsacha, Shariram Tapu Uchite. One of the items of austerity is offering respect to the superiors. And Krishna says that. So, you know, if that's going to be an impediment, I don't know. What is other? Do anyone else have a view or a statement about that? Okay. Is that okay? Or is that a little too harsh for you, Mother Nilambari?
No, Prabhuji, it's what purifies, that should be done. So yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, you can do a wholesale obeisances sometimes in the during the temple during the morning program. You know, used to be when we devotees would go and traveling sing kirtan. You know, they go into a supermarket and they go to the fruit and vegetable section, and then they offer all the fruits and vegetables there. You know, in their minds, they maybe not get down, but they would chant the prayers for offering all the fruits and vegetables there. So, you know, you're offering all your obeisances. You come to the temple, and there's you can offer all your obeisances to the Vaishnavas. That's nice.
So that can be done for all the Vaishnavas.
Yeah, wholesale.
Yeah, but for the sannyasis, we have to do pay obeisances every time when we see them.
Well, if you see them inside, if they're among those in the temple, that'll be covered. Does that make sense? If they're there in the temple,
yeah,
then they're covered. I remember when the Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha prayer was introduced in the morning program. The devotee who introduced it was Tamal Krishna Maharaj. He was saying, well, he talked with Srila Prabhupada and they discussed, and devotees, if you see like old time, there's very few you can find now, old time videos of devotees doing plays and stuff. Everybody's offering obeisances, helter skelter, boom, 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 boom. So, it interrupted a person's service. You got to offer obeisances all that time. So it was instituted that during the morning program, the Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha was included, so that most of the devotees you could encounter, you've offered obeisances to them at that time, so you don't necessarily have to do it later. Of course, you can do it later, but you don't necessarily have to do it later if you've caught them during that morning program time, including the sannyasis. And including the sannyasis, if the sannyasis are there, Yeah, good. You've offered your obeisances. Good. Of
So,
course you can. Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. So when we see after paying obeisances in the morning program
Yes.
inside the temple, when we see them outside, then we don't have to do again.
Yes, if they're there, if they were already there inside the temple, yes.
Okay. Now I
Does
got
that
it.
make sense? I mean,
Yes,
yeah.
that makes sense.
And sometimes the sannyasis arrive at some other time during the day, or they, for whatever reason, they have their own morning program someplace else, and so boom, yeah. There are quite a few sannyasis there, and usually in Vrindavan or Mayapur. So you got to be on your toes, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
one of the exciting aspects of going to a holy place is not just to take a bath, but to offer respect and hear from the devotees who are teaching Krishna consciousness, and so it's a great opportunity for us in that way.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
You bet. Anything else on this one?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mother Suma. Yes.
Hare Krishna. I remember when Ravindra Swarup Prabhuji used to live here, and I saw 2-3 times I noticed when he was in the hallway, the devotees, as soon as they saw him, and they paid Dandvat obeisances. Many
Yes.
times. That I remember.
So that can either be just because he's a senior devotee, and or also because he is their spiritual teacher, their preceptor, their guru. So usually it's also part of the etiquette is when you see the guru, your own guru, you offer respectful obeisances. Good point. At least the first time of the day, just like I think in Indian culture, they would the children would offer obeisances in respects to their parents and come and touch their feet, isn't it? In the morning time. Did you do that, Mother Vindhyavali? Yeah, so like that. So the guru is the spiritual father. So yes. Anything else, Shashi Shekhar Prabhu?
Not for me.
All right. Okay, we'll offer our respects then. Okay. Next.
এইসব পাষণ্ডের তবে হইবে নিস্তার, আর কোনো উপায় নাহি এই যুক্তিসার।
All the unfaithful rogues of this world can be delivered by this process. There is no alternative. This is the essence of the argument. Next.
এই দৃঢ় যুক্তি করি প্রভু আছে ঘরে, কেশব ভারতী আইলা নদিয়া নগরে।
After coming to this firm conclusion, the Lord continued to stay at home. In the meantime, Keshava Bharati came to the town of Nadia.
প্রভু তারে নমস্করি কইল নিমন্ত্রণ, ভিক্ষা করাইয়া তারে কইল নিবেদন।
The Lord offered him respectful obeisances and invited him to his house. After feeding him sumptuously, he submitted to him his petition. Purport. According to the system of Vedic society, whenever an unknown sannyasi comes to a village or town, someone must invite him to take prasadam in his home. Sannyasis generally take prasadam in the house of a brahmana because the brahmin worships Lord Narayan Shila or Shalagram Shila, and therefore there is prasadam that the sannyasi may take. Keshava Bharati accepted the invitation of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus, the Lord had a good opportunity to explain his desire to take sannyas from him. So this system, it's an unknown sannyasi. So you say, well, an unknown sannyasi, you may not know what their background is. Are they from a caste Brahmin background or whatever? We not know, but just by the requisite of their being a sannyasi, they should be offered respect and invited to one's home. So in Lord Chaitanya inviting Keshava Bharati to the house, who cooked? who cooked.
I think he got a prasadam from Jagannath temple, maybe.
But he's still in Navadvip at this time.
Oh, Navadvip, I see.
Yeah, it's not said here, so we can only speculate. But one might consider Mother Sachi had cooked. She was known for her special cooking, and at other times when Madhavendra Puri previously and Ishwar Puri previously it came, Mother Sachi was had cooked. So, but the principle of again respecting the sannyas here in this case, as Kaivalya Prabhu noted, this Keshava Bharati was in the Shankara Sampradaya. He was a Mayavadi sannyasi, at least at that time. But still, he's being given respect by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And because he had some service for Keshava Bharati to do, some service in terms of initiating Lord Chaitanya into the sannyas order. So this idea of being in a situation where people give respect is quite important for initial aspects of making progress in spiritual life. Interesting point I noted going to in India after many years, that when we first went to India in 1975, most people in India, even though a few people were respectful, most people were taunting, critical. Most people. There was the movie Dam Maru Dam Hare Krishna Hare Ram. So they made fun of it. Was quite prominent all over India, Bombay, Vrindavan. But now it's very, very different. When practically, of course, there's still that element, but practically wherever devotees go, they get respect from the population. In Vrindavan, we see that almost everybody is walking around with tilak and a bead bag. Almost everybody. How is that? This is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada. So, in that sense, they're by giving respect to Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya, they've made progress, and so that they have heard Lord Chaitanya's order, Kirtaniya Sadahari, so they're chanting. It's a very, very heartwarming situation. So even you're walking around with a devotee, somebody says, "Oh no, please come." I came back through the airport, and somebody said, "Oh no, you're Hare Krishna. Here, come. You can go. You go in front of the line. Go in the front of the line." I didn't ask. So, and it wasn't that I was looking for respect. At least I don't think so. But anyway, it's people who give respect to Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, and devotees. They make progress. So India, in that sense, in that way, is making progress. It seems to me, over the years, by appreciating what Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya have done in spreading the real philosophy of Krishna consciousness. What do you think, Kaivalya Prabhu?
Sorry, Prabhu. Yeah, that's true that respect, they are respecting, the whole population is respecting. I also went a couple times in the trains also, and people really were very respectful, and they will take my luggage, and put it down. So they really help, and they will sit down and they will ask some questions, sometime, where are you from? And they will ask some philosophy also. So that is good, It's I think people are much more eager to serve devotees now. Like general population is still even, and they want to know more about the religion. So, and I saw that in all the temples, there are 2 or 3 times more people are coming every day in the temples now. So before Corona, it was not there, but after Corona and all this opening of Ram temple and everything, people have more inclined to do some kind of devotional service. So that thing is good, positive thing for India.
Yes, they're coming to the temple offering respectful obeisances to God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his form as Radha Krishna or his form as Lord Chaitanya, his form as Vishnugada. It's wonderful. It's very wonderful. So the population is getting uplifted in that way, purified in heart by Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada's and the devotees' mercy. That's really quite nice. Very good. Thank you.
And ISKCON's impression is very good, actually. ISKCON is no problem. Anywhere they go, people respect them.
Yeah.
They think that it's a good society, honest people, and they are not cheaters or anything, because some people have messed up, this whole system. But by Krishna's grace, ISKCON is still spotless, and that's a good thing.
Yes. Thank you for that, Prabhu. Okay, we'll stop here. Anybody, unless anybody has questions or comments additionally? Right before Lord Chaitanya is going to take sannyas, which occurred just, the time was before his 24th birthday. In his 24th year, he took sannyas. Other comments, questions? Okay, thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Getting down. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome back to US. Hare Krishna.
Welcome back, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Welcome back, Prabhu.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev